Hi, it's Deborah, and I wanted to come in this evening and say hello. I am a member of a coaching circle, and this month we have all been challenged to tell our story. So it occurred to me that some of you that follow me may not know my story and why I paint and why I do the things that I do online. So today I thought I would come on and share that with you. But before I do that, a lot of you know that I do devotional art journaling. And that simply is I take a little journal, and every morning when I meet with God, I write a verse down and then I do some type of little sketch. And so I was just going to pick three of those and read them to you today. The first one comes from Proverbs 29:18, and it says, "When you attend to what God reveals to you, you are most blessed." And the other one that I want to share with you is Psalm 24. "May He grant you your heart's desire and fulfill all your plans." And this is what I drew on that particular day. And the last one is Psalm 36, 5 through 6. "God's love is meteoric, His loyalty astronomic, His purpose titanic, His verdicts oceanic. Yet in His largeness, nothing gets lost. Not a man, not a mouse slips through His cracks." And I do this every morning, and I'm going to begin very soon opening this practice up to you so that you can join me. In the beginning, when I first started thinking about art, I was actually a very young little girl. All my life, for as long as I can remember, I wanted to be an artist. That's what I wanted to be. I used to do the sketches inside magazines years ago when I was a young child. The art universities used to advertise in all the major magazines, and they urged you to see if you could do the same sketches that they offered and submit them to the university. I did that all the time, as long as I can remember. Another thing that I used to do, I was always very creative. We did not have the funds to buy all the real fancy Barbie doll houses and things like that when they first came out on the market. So I made my own. I made my own out of shoe boxes and wallpaper and tattered fabric in the house, and I loved it. It was put together under my bedside table beside my bed, and it stayed there for many, many years as I grew up as a child. So I always, though, however, had to be in just the right frame of mind to create. I had to be in just the right place to pick up a paintbrush and be able to paint. I never felt like that I could just on a whim pick up a paintbrush and create something, whether I liked it or not. It just wasn't something that I could do, and it always bothered me almost all of my life, even into adulthood, that I couldn't seem to do that. But then when that urge would hit me, I could paint all kinds of things, and it always amazed me what I might paint, but I couldn't just do it all the time. But that all changed in 2020. If you'll remember, and I know you all know, 2020 was when COVID hit. During that time, three of my grandchildren lived with me for 6.5 months because both of their parents were in the medical field. And so David and I took on the responsibility of taking care of these grandchildren. It was a marvelous time for us because while the world was shut down, we lived on 74 acres, and we had the time of our life with these three grandchildren. I homeschooled them. We did all kinds of activities outside. We built obstacle courses and played football, things like that. We had Easter egg hunts all over our entire property and spent a whole day looking for eggs, things that were really fun like that they'll remember forever. And it was during that time, and actually even before that, that I realized that I was quite the memory maker. It's something that I do purposefully. I enjoy making memories and creating memories for my family. One example of how I do that is every single summer. This past summer was our 13th year of doing it. I create a Nana's camp for my grandchildren, and all the parents, children and adult alike, enjoy these activities. We do scavenger hunts every year. We always have an art project or a craft project, and then other things fill in the time, but those two things we always do every single year. So in saying that, when these children left to go back home after that 6.5 months, it was very, very quiet on this property, and we were still under some amount of lockdown. So I took lots of long walks and had lots of long talks with God, because I was a little lost, to be honest, because I was always a very go, go, go type of person, a very much of a people person. I was not the kind of person who enjoyed being alone. During that time, one day I had the strongest urge that God was calling me to paint. And I thought it was so funny. It's such a ridiculous thing. But it never ended. It went on for weeks and weeks, like a whisper in my ear, to just start painting. And it became so apparent to me that it was something he was calling me to do, but I was being resistant, that one day I simply threw up my hands and I literally say, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy this paint. I'm going to buy the paint supplies from Amazon, and I am going to put them in my kitchen pantry until you open doors and show me that I'm not crazy, that you're really telling me to paint. This story even makes me laugh because it just seems so unreal, but it is the truth. And so I did. I bought those paint supplies and I put them in my pantry, and it wasn't even a week later the doors began to open. Doors that I could have never foresaw opened for me, and they still open today. I have been published in magazines. I have been a guest speaker on podcasts. I have been highlighted in other memberships, Highlight Corner and Shine, on blogs, all kinds of things that I would have never in my life thought that it would be something that I would be doing. I had really actually never experienced anything like this before in my life, to be honest. I questioned the validity of it. I questioned whether I was capable really of doing these things, because I never had received any type of formal education in art. My education, I have 2 degrees. One is in clothing, textiles, and design, because I was always into fashion, and my dream was to own a retail store one day, which I never actually did, but that's okay. And the other degree that I had was in elementary education, and I was a teacher for a few years. I really just could not comprehend why God wanted me to paint. And in my mind, it was about me, why did he want me to paint? And then some years later, this past year in 24, when I literally found myself in a place of stillness where I could not walk. I was in a wheelchair for months on end, could not get from one room of my house to another. I thought, well, maybe he just gave me this gift for myself, because it really did become quite the therapy for me. I could get lost for hours in art, and the pain would seem to subside. I'm so sorry. That always touches my heart. I felt like it was such a wonderful gift that God gave me at that time. But I have found since then, it was not about me at all. Sometimes God gives us gifts and we don't realize at the time that they are a gift for us and we enjoy them, but it reaches so much further than just ourselves. It reaches a whole community of people that you might not ever imagine it could reach, but it does. So in this time that I was second guessing myself, and I was trying to determine if I was really on the right path I should be on or not, I went down so many rabbit holes. I questioned my ability, and so I took lots of courses on painting. I questioned my ability with tech, and I'm still not tech savvy, but it's okay. I figured out that, it doesn't matter. I've also figured out that it doesn't matter that I don't have all of these courses in art, because the most amazing thing has happened. I can now pick up a paintbrush and any time of the day, whether I'm in the right mood or the right place or not, I can paint. I can paint anything I want to paint. It's just kind of amazing to me to this day, and I've been doing it now for 5 years. I wish I could share with you that I actually just flung myself into the painting, but the truth is I did not do that. I continued to doubt myself over and over and over until it actually turned into years. I continually asked God for confirmation, and the most amazing thing is he continuously gave it to me. There were people that reached out to me, sent me videos that the crest of the video would be, and literally it would say in the video, "I just told you to paint." And the person that would have sent me that video had no idea what I was going through. No idea. No idea that I was struggling with this. So at some point, I would say, actually in 2025, this was the year that I had to have a total hip replacement. I had to have 2 major muscles repaired because I tore my hip muscle and I damaged some hip muscles. And it was during that time that I felt like God had placed me in a total place of stillness, which was very hard for me because, like I said, I'm a very much of a people person and I like connection and community. But I realized in that place of stillness that God was always there with me. And during the hardest times, during the most painful times, he never left my side. And it was also during that time, even as I turned 70 back in March, that life is full of upside downs, mountaintop experiences, and valleys, good times and bad times. It's a roller coaster ride, you guys, and it's always going to be that way. And to pretend that all is okay and harmonious during times like that, it's not a realistic view of life. For it is actually in those weakest moments when we endure those things that we realize how vulnerable we are as people and just how much God loves us. Because you know what? He sustains us during those times. I have learned as the tattered artist that vulnerability is one of the most powerful tools that I possess as an artist. It allows me to show you who I am and to invite you into my world. I named my business, my art community, the Tattered Artist, because I have realized during this time that it's the tattered parts of life that when they're come together can actually form a new form of beauty. I'm having to check out my notes here. My work is not just about creating a beautiful work of art. It's about creating connections with other people. It's about showing the world that it is okay to be tattered, to go through hard times, and that you don't have to pretend to be strong during those times, that you can choose to be authentic. My art isn't perfect. It was not meant to be perfect, but it is real. It's whimsical and it's colorful, and my hope is that it will bring joy to the recipient. I believe in stories that only the tattered and the torn can tell. Touch people, that if even just one person is touched while do you hear the gunshots? I'm outside on my front porch, you guys, in rural Alabama. It's that time of year. It's okay to be yourselves. It's okay to be authentic. And if I could find just one person that my life and my experience touched, that they could find joy in the midst of their brokenness, then I would feel like I had achieved my goal. Because I have learned that it is not about me, the fact that I can paint now. It's about using it as a tool to touch the lives of other people. It's in this reality that I actually find the joy that keeps me going. It keeps me creating, and it keeps me believing in the process that what can emerge from these tattered things is joy. That's why I chose and why I love being the tattered artist. It's because it reminds me of the journey that I'm on and that it isn't just about me. It's about me and it's about all the people that I'm going to meet on my journey. It's about me and it's about each one of you. If you enjoyed any parts of this story that I've told you today, except maybe the tears, please leave a like or comment below. And if you'd like to connect with me more, every Tuesday morning Central Time from 10:30 to 11, I host the Tattered Art Club. It is a free online space where you can come, have a cup of coffee, and for half an hour, be yourself and actually create with another artist. I hope that this weekend you have an awesome time. And I hope that you enjoyed my little story. I actually brought some of my art to show you also. I am currently creating, do you hear that? This is real life, people. Okay, I am actually creating the Aquatic Life Collection. And in that Aquatic Life Collection, I am painting different types of birds, pelicans, flamingos. You guys, I'm so sorry. Egrets, and I'm also creating fish. I also am known to create angels, and this one is a little more of a solemn angel, but I absolutely love her because I love the expression on her face. She just seems to be, she's not sad. She just seems to be so okay with what's going on in her life. And then, of course, there are my whimsical girls. I'm known for painting whimsical girls. This one was actually inspired by my oldest granddaughter. She was dressed up for a ballet recital. And I do have a website, thetatteredartist.com, and I'd like to invite you to visit me there. I've enjoyed this little bit of time with you, even in the midst of gunshots. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye-bye.